objective, the customary system, converting units within the customary system. The other day we looked at the metric system, so today we're looking at the customary system. Big number 1, units of measurement. The units of length, inches, IN, feet, FT, yards, YD, miles, MI. Capacity units of measurement. Fluid ounces, FLOZ, cups, C, pint, PT, quart, QT, and gallon, G. And the customary units of weight. Ounce, OZ, pound, which is LB, and ton, which is capital T. Big number 2. These are some equivalents or some things that you just have to memorize. 1 foot is 12 inches. 1 yard is 3 feet, which is 36 inches. 1 mile is 5,280 feet, and 1 mile is 1,760 yards. You just have to memorize those. 1 cup is 8 fluid ounces. 1 pint is 2 cups. 1 quart is 2 pints. And 1 gallon is 4 quarts. You may remember gallon man for that, but I can show you some drawings to help you remember those things. Weight, 1 pound is 16 ounces, and 1 ton is 2,000 pounds. So these are equivalents that you need to memorize. Big number 3. Just like in the metric system, in the customary system, to convert within the customary system, multiply by the correct ratio. So we are again going to be writing ratios. Same thing, big number 4. Units on the bottom of the ratio are the starting unit, whatever you start with, and units on top of the ratio should be the new unit, whatever you are converting to. Big number 5. The greater unit will be a 1, just as before. Greater unit will be a 1. Big number 6, and I hope you can see this. If not, just listen and you can copy it down. If the number other than 1 is in the numerator, you're going to multiply. If the number other than 1 is in the denominator, you divide. So in your ratio, you're going to have a 1 and then another number. If the other number is on top, you multiply. Sorry, the bell, and another one will ring again in 3 minutes. If the number other than 1 in your ratio is on the bottom, you're actually going to divide. Big number 7. If you are moving from a smaller unit to a larger unit, for example, inches to feet, you are going to divide. If you're moving from a larger unit to a smaller unit, you multiply. For example, from feet to inches, you will multiply. Let's do some examples. Remember, the first thing you're going to do is start out with 42 feet, and we're going to multiply this by a ratio that we write. For our ratio, we know that we want feet on the bottom because we want the feet to cancel. So feet is going to go on the bottom. And we are converting to yards. So yards are going to go on the top. Where does the 1 go? What is bigger? Is feet or is yards bigger? Well, we know a yard is bigger than a foot. So our 1 goes with yards. And you have to remember from your conversion, which you'll memorize if you haven't already, in 1 yard, how many feet are there? Well, there are 3 feet in 1 yard. So, notice we are multiplying by 1/3, which is the same thing as dividing by 3. Multiplying by 1/3 is the same thing as dividing by 3. Because this is in our denominator, we know the number other than 1 is in the denominator. We know we're going to divide. So, our units cancel. We're going to be left with yards. And we're going to do 42 divided by 3. And we know that 42 divided by 3 is actually 14 yards. So 42 feet is 14 yards. 5 tons to pounds. So we're going to go from tons to pounds. So start by writing our ratio. We have 5 tons. We're going to multiply that by our ratio with tons in the bottom because we want tons to cancel. And we want pounds or LBS to be at the top because that's what we're converting to. In our ratio, what is bigger, pounds or tons? We know a ton is bigger, so a 1 goes with tons. Well, how many pounds are in 1 ton? You know that there are 2,000 pounds in 1 ton. When we multiply, we know our tons are going to cancel and we're left with pounds. Now, because the number other than 1 is in our numerator, we multiply. So 5 times 2,000. And we know that 5 times 2,000 is 10,000 pounds. So 5 tons is 10,000 pounds. Example 3. 12 yards is how many inches? Well, we have 12 yards. I told you the bell would ring again. That was a fast 3 minutes. 12 yards times some ratio. Well, we want yards to be in the bottom so that they cancel. And we're going to inches. So, which is bigger, inches or yards? Yards is bigger, so it gets a 1. And how many inches is in a yard? There are 36 inches. You just have to multiply that. 36 inches in a yard. I'm sorry, you have to memorize that. Not multiply it, memorize it. All right, when we multiply, our yards cancel and we're left with inches. Because the number other than 1 is in the numerator, we multiply. 12 times 36. And we know that 12 times 36 is 432 inches. So 12 yards is 432 inches. It makes sense that there would be more inches than yards because inches are smaller, so it takes more of them to make up a yard. Number 4, 4.5 cups to fluid ounces. So we have 4.5 cups, and we're going to multiply that by a ratio with cup being in the bottom so it cancels, and we're going to fluid ounces. Now, which is bigger, a cup or a fluid ounce? Well, ounces go in a cup, so cup is bigger, and in 1 cup you have to memorize there are 8 fluid ounces. Our cups are going to cancel, and because our number other than 1 is in the numerator, we are going to actually multiply. Because our number other than 1 is in the numerator, we're going to multiply, and 4.5 times 8 is actually 36 fluid ounces. Number 5, this is our challenge problem. This time we're going from gallons to pints. So we're going to start with 8 gallons. And we're going to multiply that by a ratio that has gallons. But we don't know how many pints are in a gallon. So what can we go to that's in between a gallon and a pint? What is in between a gallon and a pint? Well, we can use quarts. That's why this is a challenge problem. We're going to use a quart. So we know that in 1 gallon there are 4 quarts. But we don't want quarts. We want to go to pints. So we're going to go ahead and do this problem. Your gallons cancel. 8 times 4 is 32 quarts. And we're going to now take 32 quarts to pints. So in 32 quarts, multiply it with a ratio with quarts. In 1 quart, you have memorized there are 2 pints. So in 1 quart, there are 2 pints. Your quarts cancel. 32 times 2 is 64 pints. So in 8 gallons there are 64 pints. In this problem it was really 2 in 1 because we couldn't go straight from gallons to pints. We had to first go to quarts and then to pints. So remember, multiply by a ratio. 1 is the unit that is bigger, and you multiply if the number other than 1 is in your numerator and divide if the number other than 1 is in your denominator.